Welcome to Arkives. This is our inaugural episode. I'm here with my two best pals and paisans, Chris Vaccaro, Tino Patino III, and this will be a show that we will talk about some of the highlights of what's going on around the Long Island community and how we're using technical services to help tell those stories. First up, big week. I can't believe we're almost a month into it, but we're back to school 2025. So catch me up, fellas, like what's going on and what's going around the patch.
First of all, Pomara Vaccaro Patino, it's like an Italian-American law firm.
Yeah, we gotta see if we can get Cento to sponsor.
we should be sponsored by some sauce or pasta company. Very quick first month of school. And we were honestly preparing over the summer to make sure, we had the editorial plans to really guide our clients in a very strong technical way. And it's great because the preparation that we did over the summer always allows us to succeed during the heart of the year. And you can't predict some of the great stories you're about to tell. You always know there's a million things. Many of our clients obviously are in the educational space, which is why we're talking back to school first. But, I'm sitting at an elementary school in Islip, and we're talking about routines that teachers have in their classrooms, which helps really guide the educational process. And I'm going, this isn't your standard perfunctory video. This is something that dives into really part of their professional development. And I'm sitting there going, wow, not only can this be a model within their own district, this is a model of what teachers across the country or the world could use and how to establish routines. So that just caught my eye right away. It's not your standard arts and crafts project or fundraiser, right? We're talking what is happening behind the scenes that establishes consistency in the classroom. And that just, I wanted to highlight that. I think they're doing an incredible job in the classroom in Islip.
That's excellent.
And then, I think we also have a lot of people behind the scenes in these districts. So I really made a point in August, early September, clerical, building and grounds, maintenance. There's so many people, security, the food service, right? It's not just about the teachers, the superintendents, and the faculty. It's a lot of folks behind the scenes that make these big institutions thrive and what they are. So I had a really good time talking with them. I think a lot of people in these communities appreciate the people behind the scenes, and the people that have been there 20, 30 years and don't ask for any credit, but they deserve it. It makes those
especially on the maintenance side, getting the schools ready. We have an inside look because we're in the technical field. So we have an inside look of what goes on and what the school looks like 2 weeks before the school actually opens. I don't think most community members would understand that. So they really, especially in a district as cool and forward thinking as Islip, what they put together and have for their students, just an excellent place.
Yeah. So between all the normal back to school fun and educational value, there's all this great stuff that we've been using our services to tell. It's about storytelling. It's about distribution of those ideas. It's about connecting the dots for the community. And I think Tino also observed some unique things as well in his travels.
Yeah, got the opportunity to go to the Quag school myself. Opening day, nothing like it. Being around Jeff Rivaker, principal and superintendent there, meeting him before the buses came, but not just, I say buses, but it was one bus. And I think that was the cool part about it, was seeing that small in size school, but the big positive impact. And I'm going to go back to this slide here because you can see in the hallways, the teachers are out greeting the students. The parents are out front. It's welcoming. It's warm. And just to be able to have the opportunity to capture this along with other, technical impacts we're making for these clients, it's really cool because we're providing them with a showcase of the things they've already done, but they continue to do and improvements they make themselves. And just to be a part of the back to school process, as Chris mentioned, really eye-opening experience because these are things that, maybe you don't see everywhere. A small school like that, but each and every teacher was outside greeting the parents, greeting the students on the first day. And, I expect them to continue to do great things like that throughout the school year.
It's so impressive, the impact that, superintendent, but really Principal Rivaker, right? He's the superintendent, but the kids know him as the principal. I know a story because, I'm an East End guy. now, and one of the kids, they had asked the kid if they could have dinner with anybody, past or present, like including like George Washington and like Abraham Lincoln, and the kid was like, "Oh my gosh, it would definitely be Principal Riviker." So we might have to hook that up and get some video of that. Pretty awesome stuff, though.
It's good. Yeah, and the rest of the month of September has been a total blur. It's nonstop, just being as many places as we can, talking to as many people as we can, and helping. Right? I mean, we're there to support their goals and their needs. And when it comes down to it, a lot of things that we see or hear about or are sent related to the classroom work is always the most inspiring. You know, it doesn't matter if it's a kindergarten class or a senior about to commit to a big school. One of the biggest things that we do is help create the impact that these educational facilities, communities, institutions have in their community. And so I just love the smiling faces. I love teachers that, you know, like this book tasting in Remsenburg, right? They're just sampling different books, but they had a nice play on the words of tasting, like a taste test, right? And
I love this one. I love the checkered tablecloth.
Yeah, I'm thinking Italian restaurant. It's just a classroom in Remsenburg, and they're talking about books, but it goes a long way. And East Mauritius does a great job with their STEM program. They have some projects they were working on this just early to start the year. You'll see a lot more things related to the technology in the classroom and STEM and just the maker spaces and the art spaces. A lot of great things ahead, and it's amazing how much has already happened in just 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks in the school year. But really great people, really great schools, really great stories to tell, and we're proud to do it.
Awesome. So talk to me a little bit about some brand identity and some of the technical services we've had to do, and some of the curation we've had to do for some of our non-school clients.
Yeah, this is always fun. It gets us out of the normal rhythm and pace of some of our days and weeks. Two specifically, one being Telechoice. The guys at Telechoice, Ed and Matt, are great to just hang with, right? We have really good rapport and conversations and similar ideologies. We also love their business in the telecommunication space. And we love the idea of when they're talking, when Ed starts to do these videos and he gets very serious about how they can set up networking, manage the wires and the cables on the back end in a server room, take individual products and put it in their lab in Ronkonkoma, and have a very personalized way of building a support system for their clients. It's almost like smile when you're doing the video, Ed. You love this so much. You get so serious about it, and it helps really make me feel comfortable about their product in a very direct way. So he's just a passionate leader that has built a great brand that has its own set of clients, and we're happy to be helping him tell his story. It's a very technical story. And then JLC, I mean, Dr. Jorgensen, Ray Jorgensen, is an absolute legend. You know, to be able to help take his brand into a new progressive direction, by using social and video and these distribution methods. We're learning a ton, between the interviews I'm doing for testimonials, where I get to talk to superintendents and business leaders about the impact that Ray and JLC have had on their lives and careers. I feel like I'm going through the professional development training myself. It's one of the most beneficial clients I think we'll ever have. And Tino will take the videos I'm doing, edit them, and he's like, "Hey, I'm learning just as much as you."
Yeah.
Any chance I get to get on the call with Ray, I welcome that chance. I absolutely thoroughly enjoy talking to him, and it's funny too because we're working for him, we're trying to help him, but it's like he literally makes you sit under the learning tree while you're on the call with him, and he makes you and he'll ask you, like, why did you ask that question, and why did you ask it in that particular way?
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, like, so I definitely have to up my game. We had a funny story the other night. Chris and I went out to dinner with an absolute legend, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, the former lightweight champion of the world. Great guy. Chris thought we were meeting Ray for dinner, and I think he was almost a little disappointed, even though we love Ray Mancini and he's Italian American and he's a great guy. I think Chris was almost a little disappointed we weren't with Ray Jorgensen. So really Yeah, he just an absolute, like you said, absolute legend. And if you ever need advice, he's a great guy to reach out to and talk to. You're always going to get the best, shoot you straight advice and very direct and personalized communication. The telechoice guys, I love those guys. Obviously that's a business we know a lot about at ARC. I love the idea of working with them and partnering with them, and they're great guys. We got to get Corrado on video though. I don't know his head might not fit in one of these boxes, but but we got to get him on video. He's but Ed's for a guy who does it as well and easily as he does it, that he gets nervous about it is one of the funniest things I think I can think of.
I do agree. We need Matt. I think he's a character, and I think he's going to be fantastic on video. And I just sent a note this week saying, I think we're running out of content. I want to come back and film a bunch of stuff. And by the way, bring 2 shirts so we can fill enough for several months if I have to.
You're supposed to give away the magician secrets here.
Well,
that's what the Arkives does for everyone, right?
We are the magicians. It's our playbook. Mm-hmm. It's our sauce. I was mentally prepared to have dinner with Ray Jorgensen. Like I was ready to be on my A game. Like
you had your talking points and you're checking in and you're checked out ready.
His entire professional development is about conversation. So I wanted to make sure the conversation was clean and perfect and all. And I'm like, I also really admire Ray Mancini. I'm very attached to Italian American culture and heritage. So I was like, wow, it was like a whiplash in a good way. Like it went from one Ray to another, and they're all great people. We're happy to be associated with all of them. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Back to the dinner hypothetical that we mentioned with Mr. Riviker. Well, my answer to that would be Dr. Ray Jorgensen himself. I mean, look at this quote, right? Elevating leadership through conversation. We touched on it a bunch, but the fact that I'm able to, as Chris mentioned, edit the videos, that we're able to curate, to get onto social, right? That's what we're talking about. Brand identity, expanding their audience. For me, it's such a fun experience, not only helping them do that, but to be able to gain the knowledge myself. He talks about resiliency. He talks about breaking down situations after they're positive, right? Normally there's negative stuff that can happen to us. Why did this happen? How can we improve from it? Doing that after a positive experience as well. We'll talk how the Arkives could be better, improving that each week for the viewers out here. Appreciate everyone tuning in as well. But to me, I just feel like that's the parts of it that are just priceless. Being able to get these sort of intangible, learning experiences from our clients who are teaching other people themselves. That's the major impact I feel like it has on a lot of communities, especially when distributed on social media.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's an absolute great point. And, look, that's why we started this. And that's why we did this was, the ARC methodology is right. We try to look at situations and figure out the right technologies to marry to those situations. And then not only that, how to measure it and how to measure the success of it. When you get to work with these kind of people, I mean, we're very blessed. I mean, everybody that we work with, there's just something so cool and unique about every one of them. And they're people that, I absolutely admire. And obviously, Dr. Jorgensen would be, one of the tops on that list. But, like working with Dennis O'Hara and Islip, somebody I've known for such a long time, working with all these different communities. I obviously have a soft spot for East Moriches. They're my neighbor. They have two of the best education leaders I know, and Dean Middleman and, of course, Emily Ike. So really enjoy just working with all these different people. And then we were just joking about Riviker, but he's a great guy. Like he's just I enjoy, I can meet with him and we'll talk for like an hour and like 10 minutes. And we're like, holy cow, we got to go. We got other stuff to do. So pretty
Sachem
cool.
alumni. I thought Chris would be the first one to mention Sachem. I get it in as I'm an alumni myself, but the fact that we're able to, for me, I hadn't before, joining ARC, I had never gotten the opportunity to meet someone like him. Well, now we go to these different clients, these different communities, these different school districts, and I'm getting connected with these individuals that graduated from the same school I did, learned the same ways I did, but maybe it's in the past, a few years before I did. I'll give them that. But I think the cool part about that
we were on the other side. We were on the other side of 2000 because I'm a Sachem alumni. Jeff and I actually went to high school together. Although we, at Sachem, we didn't really know each other, and then I went to high school with one of Dennis's brothers, and Dennis went to high school with my sister. So pretty cool. And then, look, the other thing too is, we have the Nassau connections too. We have Mineola that they have a great story to tell, and you're going to be seeing more from them with our state-of-the-art internship program, where we're gonna talk to the interns, and they're going to help us with some curation. And then Herrick's, which superintendent of Herrick's, everything that when I sit with him, I always say everything I've learned about social media and about the idea of that, a huge part of that comes from him. He was one of the first people I modeled myself after when I was trying to, get out there. And the fact that we were able, Chris and now you, and we were able to get together and find all these different technologies and put them together to just take that to the next level. It's kind of special. Pretty cool. All right. Catch me up on community connections.
Yeah, I don't think there's very many people doing what we're doing in the technical space related to WSHR, the management of the premier educational radio station, not only on Long Island, but in New York and perhaps the East Coast. Our specialty of managing a lot of pieces, especially on the technical side, but with production and programming and engineering, has come full force. And the best part is working with the teachers and the classes and the students who are on air. And so within the first 2 weeks of school, we had 17 students at Sachem East and North broadcasting at the same time for the week 1 game, 2 football games at the same exact time. And not only just broadcasting it, but using their social media skills, their photography skills, their sideline reporting skills, putting it all together for a multi-platform strategy that you cannot find anywhere but a Division I type athletic program at a college, where they have staffs of people doing it. So that has been, you can't connect a community to a school, to a media platform with the students in charge of it. You can't do that anywhere else. It's very rare. So, and we're happy to be a part of that process. It's really special for us as well, as frankly, all 3 of us are products of WSHR.
Absolutely.
Want to talk about something like really meaningful and also impactful. We wouldn't be here doing a podcast talking about the communities had it not been for our own community. And kids first, education first. These kids are thriving. They are making it happen. If you can go on the WSHR social media accounts and see the reporting, the video work, the news updates, the vertical storytelling, it's really incredible. So I'm just so happy of what we're seeing there with the progress of that station.
Well, it's funny too, when I came over to visit you over there, obviously there's a lot of nostalgia for me. And again, we were on the other side of the year 2000, me and the other fellows we mentioned. But I also think about, and again, dedicating my life to bringing the meaningful use of technology and education. It's amazing how everything is now technical services, and technology has changed, like they're not spinning records anymore. Like if you ask the kid, how do you queue up a record? Queue up a record. There's no more, they weren't 8 tracks, but they were like they look like 8-track tapes that we used to run the PSAs off of. And then, it's just such a cool, such a cool thing. And, even when I got back from college, I did do a couple of years at WSHR with my dad. So yeah, really, really neat. It is a full circle moment. I love the idea that we're using technology now to breathe new life into WSHR. And obviously that's near and dear to all of our hearts, and that we're going to continue. I actually have another question for you guys. So we're spitballing here. There's a member of our team who's not here, and that is Noah 1. So what do we have planned for Noah 1?
That's a good point.
Tell everybody who Noah 1 is.
You should have queued up some of that video. That's a great. First of all, Noah 1 is a fantastic name for the drone that we operate through Arc, and we've been helping film video of buildings, of properties, aerial shots of used on websites, and I've been infusing it a bit into some social storytelling. Noah 1 is a very important piece of our puzzle. And the more people see that it's available, or even just they'll ask, hey, do you have a drone? And I'm happy and very happy to say, of course we do. We're going to get it out to, actually, we're going to do how most schools do this, but Sachem has so many people, it's easier to look at a big number on a field. But we all did the number of our graduating year in a big picture that was in the yearbook. Well, now we're actually filming that, and we're going to use a drone to do it. So it's all happening thanks to Noah 1.
Hey, you guys tell me to jump. I say how high, but I can't jump as high as Noah 1, so I'm appreciative of it. And he's doing great things up there in the sunny skies. One thing I also love about the community connection is being a part of it myself, right? If you look to your right, you see Superintendent Dennis O'Hara of Islip going on a school bus with the kindergartners that day. He went on a bus route, and not only did he do it, I got to follow him along there too.
Did he ride the bus?
He did. We both did. And that's the awesome part is like before joining ARC, I was excited. I was looking forward to the opportunities, but being embedded on site for these special moments between he was interacting with the kindergartners, saying what's up, asking them how their day was. And the fact that he was able to go on the bus. This is my favorite picture, one of them at least, because it's not something that you would necessarily expect to see, but that's what we're doing here, showcasing what these individuals like to do for their communities, for their school districts. And that's just one of the many examples where it's engaging, it's great to see on video, and it's something that you may normally see in a news package, in a newsreel, right? But we're providing the services for these school districts to get it out on their own platform, to continue to showcase to the parents, to the grandparents, to the community what we have to offer, and more importantly, what they have to offer and what they're doing for their students all year long.
Let me ask you a funny question. Do the kids have any idea who he actually, like what he does? Like, do they know that he's like the CEO of the school? I'm sure they don't know he's the CEO, but I'm saying, like, do they know he's like a really, really big deal?
I would think so. I think just based off of how he was dressed, right? Got the nice suit on, got the tie. To me, that announces big deal. But he introduced himself just as Mr. O'Hara, right? And that's the even more, down to earth, humble part of it. To where, yeah, sure, kindergartners may not understand, superintendent, but for him to put himself in that position, strap on the seatbelt, just like all the other kiddos on that bus, that to me was the really heartwarming part about it, because they're able to now connect with him. They're going to grow up. He's still hopefully going to be there, in that role. And then they're going to see, oh, wait a second. This is someone that cares about me, cares about my community, and cares about my well-being also.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was really cool. I'm gonna have to seek that one out, because I have to check that out. All right, fellas, anything else?
Oh, yeah, we got tons more, but one last one that I'll bring up here in terms of the community connection, Montauk School. It's been a pleasure of mine to work closely with Superintendent and Principal Josh Odom over there. But the biggest thing that I wanted to sort of provide for them, and they talked about with me as well, was when you think Montauk, you're thinking big vacation town, but we're able to now showcase the education that they have there, the great initiatives that they've had for a while there, or they're continuing to build upon. And when I talk with teachers themselves, specifically doing a little intro video and whatnot, you could see the joy on their faces, because they are, a lot of the teachers and faculty and staff in that building are Montauk students and residents themselves. So they take a lot of pride in now being able to share their story, share what makes Montauk School great, and what makes them different. I went there and I was blown away by some of the differences. We talked about Islip, East Moriches, Sachem. This is a very different school, but that's what makes it special. And everything, everyone has their own unique qualities, but being there in person, seeing the outside of the school building, we'll take Noah 1 there, I'm sure, but interacting with all the staff and being at simple events like Board of Education meetings, but also, more elaborate things like they have coming up, like the color run. That to me is one of the most special parts about this whole process with you guys in ARC, is providing them technology to be able to create a bigger impact for their community and for the students as a whole.
Yeah, Superintendent Odom is social media gold because he's a great guitar player. He surfs and he's a rock climber. Pretty cool. And then, Chris, what I was thinking is we're going to have to, this might be something we have to put out to the intrepid interns over at Mineola or some of our Sachem interns is, was any other school district designed by an architect as famous as Carl Fisher, who designed the Montauk School? Carl Fisher designed Miami Beach. He designed the Montauk Manor, the giant tower in town. I mean, that's historical, and I don't know the answer to that. But I would love to know that, because there's a lot of, obviously the Phipps, Great Neck has the Phipps house. But I'm trying to think if there's anyone that is designed by a school itself, is designed by any famous architects. We're gonna have to do some homework on that.
The only one, and I'm not going down a rabbit hole right now. I'm not, I swear. Is
I know we're trying to keep it short, and of course I have to ask a crazy question.
We went over already whatever our time was that we said. So this is fun, but the Gate Lot Elementary School, which was a long time building within Sachem, it's not used right now as a building, but it was designed by a gentleman named Daniel Perry, who is a Long Island-based architect, famous for various structures on Long Island. I don't think he has the national appeal, but I mean, when he died, New York Times had a huge obituary about him. So his impact in the architectural field is bigger than we probably even understand. But Carl Fisher it's kind of like its own playing field, I'd say.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Anything else?
I think that's good. That's almost a half hour. We talked about a lot of stuff. You can see we're busy.
Mm-hmm.
We're just getting started with this media brand with inside the wonderful ARC Technology Consultants company and brand. And we're just really grateful for our clients and all the great stuff that we have ahead.
It's been awesome to be a part of and to be able to showcase just a little bit, like you mentioned, what we're doing, take you into the archives. I'm very blessed and fortunate for you guys to guide me through this process and becoming, ARC, and I love everything about it. And I love the clients, like we mentioned, and just honestly creating an impact within our communities, their communities. But if there's one thing that I like to consider success, it's inspiring just maybe one person along the way. Hey, I want to do what Tino's doing. He's holding the phone. He's getting to showcase the students and the faculty in my building. That would be really cool if that can happen.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what we're here for. So, and contact us if you think that your organization, your school district, your company needs help. We have the technology to help get you to the next level. So that's going to wrap it up for our first edition of Archives. Thank you. If you like this video, please like it and hit the subscribe button.